This is going to be game week 15 predictions for the Premier League. Last week I got 2 points, worst week I've had so far, taking me to a total of 81 points. This week kicks off with the derby, Everton versus Liverpool. Everton last week had a great performance against Wolves, put 4 past them. Very unexpected performance from them, and that came after conceding 4 to United. So very good comeback from them. Then there was Liverpool, who struggled against Newcastle, managed to get a draw from them. Joe Gomez was getting cooked by whoever was going at him. Isak most of the time was what I saw. But they managed to get the draw because of Salah. Salah getting 2 goals and an assist. He is Liverpool, and the hate train for him continues for me. Honestly, I hope they don't give him a contract and Saudi snatches him away. For this game, I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Liverpool. Next up is Brentford versus Newcastle. Brentford went against Villa. Nothing dangerous from them until the end of the game, and really Flecken was just on overtime. They struggled the whole game, really. Then there's Newcastle, like I mentioned, gave Liverpool a hard time. Shaw came in clutch with the goal from the back post. I love that guy so much. I think he's a great defender. I'm not just saying this because he tied the game, but I think he's a top defender. And I knew Newcastle could do something because they love to give big teams a hard time. For this game, I see Brentford struggling again. If this is the Newcastle we have now, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. Next up is Villa versus Southampton. Villa, like I said, beat Brentford. Decent game from them, especially from the start. Matty Cash got himself a beautiful goal. And then there was Watkins, who got man of the match. But honestly, I think he could have gotten more. There was a couple chances where he just shot at the goalie, and it was easily blocked. But overall, good game from them. Then there's Southampton, who went against Chelsea with a depleted squad, so 5-1 was understandable. Kyle Walker-Peters got himself a nice assist where he did like a little roulette, and it went through a player's legs, and he assisted. For this game, honestly see it being kind of even, since Southampton's players are going to be coming back. They were missing a lot of players, but I still see Villa winning here. It is at home. This should be a game that they win, so I'm going to go for a 3-2 win. Next up is Crystal Palace versus City. Crystal beat Ipswich with a Mateta goal, which was nasty, dropping a player while he put the ball in the back of the net. And then there was Eze, who really looked hungry, but he just couldn't produce anything. His touches or his passes were just a little bit off. So yeah, I mean, it's good for Glasner that they're picking it back up, but some of the players are still not there. Then there's City, who beat Forest 3-0. De Bruyne is finally back and starting. It was obvious that we needed something creative or something just attacking wise, and it was De Bruyne, and he cooked for us. I also want to shout out Grealish and Doku giving Aina a hard time on the right side or left side, depending on how you see it. And then Grealish down the middle in that 10 spot was great, driving the ball, keeping the ball, and just drawing fouls. I feel like that is his position. I don't really like the way he plays on the wing, and yeah, hopefully we see him more down the middle. In this game, I'm gonna stay humble. I don't think we're fully back and gonna start thrashing teams. I still think Crystal can give us a go, but hopefully we have enough to win here, and it's gonna be 2-1 to City. Next up is United versus Forest. United, who went against Arsenal, weren't horrendous until the second half, where they just conceded chance after chance. Their defense was solid, but honestly their attack wasn't. They should have challenged this depleted side of Arsenal, or the defense side, but they didn't. Then there's Forest, who are on a little bit of a decline in form, and I think it's going to show in this game as well. I think Amarin is going to get his another win under United, but it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 1-0 to United. Next up is Fulham versus Arsenal. Fulham beating Brighton Honestly, I don't know if it was that deserved. There was 2 mistakes from Brighton, and it led to 2 of their goals. And then Iwobi with the banger got the 3rd one, and that moved them to 6th place, which is great for them, European spots. But I do expect them to slowly drop back down. And then there's Arsenal, shameless FC, set piece FC, awful from them. The set piece coach is honestly doing more than Arteta. Arteta, reevaluate what the heck you're doing. For this game, honestly, I expect Arsenal to get more set piece goals here. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win to Arsenal. Next up is Leicester versus Brighton. Leicester had a great defensive game against West Ham. Honestly, West Ham were all over them, and they managed to just convert the few chances that they had, so giving Rude his first win. Then there was Brighton, who had silly defensive mistakes, led to 2 goals for Fulham. But someone in that defense that did stand out was Van Hecke. Probably not for his defensive work, but his attacking mindset of putting through balls or just long balls and launching it up. He did really good in this game for that. For the scoreline, I see Brentford winning here. I don't think Leicester or Rude can get his 2nd win in a row. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Brighton. Next up is Ipswich versus Bournemouth. Ipswich gave it a go, but sadly they can never push it over the edge to get a draw. Or they get a bunch of draws, but to get a win. And then there's Bournemouth, who beat Spurs with a Hutchinson. I think that's how you say his name. He's Spanish. I don't know how he's Spanish with that name. But he got himself a goal, and then he hit the chill guy celebration. Silly stuff, but yeah. But I have to say, Areola is making this team so dangerous, but they're only 9th, which is crazy, and it shows just how competitive this league is. For the scoreline, I'm going to give it a 1-0 win to Bournemouth. Next up is Spurs versus Chelsea, which is arguably the best game of the game week, or it should be. Spurs struggled against Bournemouth. Honestly, it could have been 3-0 to Bournemouth. They were even struggling against their subs when they came on, like Billing and Enes. And then there's Chelsea, who had the complete opposite type of game where they thrashed Southampton. They're looking like they could give it a go for the title. They're staying up there, they're not dropping off, and they have so much depth, so I don't expect them to drop off. And honestly, everyone is contributing. There's not a guy that you can point out and say, yeah, they're in terrible form right now. So, big up to Maresca for that. For this game, I'm hoping for an entertaining game, so I'm going to say a 3-2 win to Chelsea. Next up is West Ham versus Wolves, 2 teams who got smacked last week. West Ham, who got smacked by Leicester. Honestly, expected Lopetegui to get sacked after the game, but he didn't. They were unexpectedly the better team, though. They had a lot of chances, just couldn't convert anything, and the goal that they got came from Fulkrug, proving his haters wrong. I have confidence in that guy. He was just injured, and he needs to come back and show the Prem that he can do it. And then there's Wolves, who shouldn't be losing games like that, especially against teams around their level. 4-0 is awful. They struggled on their set pieces. I think they conceded off of 2 of them. And then there was Dawson, who got 2 own goals, scoring and doing the work for Calvert-Lewin. Awful game from him. But for this game, I'm hoping Wolves win, so Lopetegui can get sacked. So O'Neal, please do your thing. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Wolves. And those were my predictions for Game Week 15. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and thank you for watching.